Good evening, everyone. This is Matt with businesswithtrading.com. I've been getting asked a lot of questions about what is the ES, what is it about, how does it work. So I figured I'd do a little presentation right here and answer all of those questions. First of all, what is the ES? A lot of people ask that question. Well, the ES is an S&P futures contract started in September 1997. I think it was September 9th, if you want to know the exact date. The S&P 500 is comprised of 500 stocks. It's a very good index, whereas the Dow has only 30 stocks. It's very volatile. Having 500 stocks usually keeps it pretty solid. It usually isn't, it's not going to go 300 points at a time like the Dow sometimes, but you can make a very good income from it, and that's what this presentation is for, to educate you about it. Now, futures, basically the future value of the market. What that means, it opens on Sunday night at 6 o'clock. Say the futures go up 10 points. Well, when the market opens Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern Time, then you know the futures have gone up. The market obviously is going to open up. Most likely it's going to be in a gap situation. So that's what I mean. Futures, future value of the market. When the market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the futures are still going on. And in the direction of the futures, it will tell you where the market's going to open the next day. So the futures pretty much from 6 p.m. Sunday night Eastern Time till 4:15 p.m. Friday, with 15 minutes each day, and I'm going to get into that in the next slide. The futures market basically is just like trading baseball cards. If I'm going to trade baseball cards with somebody, or football or basketball cards, whatever sport you're into, I'm going to trade my card because I think it's going to be worth less than the card you're going to give me in the future. And that's basically what futures market is. It's a price in the future. And let me go to my next slide. And another question, how does the ES work? Well, the ES trades in quarterly increments. What that means is there are four different contracts. There's March, which is symbolized by an H, June symbolized by an M, September symbolized by an S, and December symbolized by a Z. Now, all futures contracts that work on quarterly increments are going to be like this. Gold, March is going to be H. Crude oil, September is going to be S. So all futures contracts work like this. Basically, all you need to do is use the very next one. If it's February, use March. If you're in April, use June. If you're in December, depending on where you're at in December, you might want to use March. If you're towards the middle to the end of December, well, if you're in the end of December, you have to use March. December might have already expired. But in the beginning of December, you can use it. Usually between the second and the third week in the month, that's when people are going to start rolling over, and the contracts actually expire for the most part the third Friday of every month. So you want to know that. The ES trades from 4:30 p.m. till 4:15 p.m. the next day, and that's where I was saying it closes for 15 minutes every day. It opens 6 p.m. on Sunday, and it trades straight through until 4:15 p.m. on Monday. From 4:15 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. you have to have the entire margin. The margin for the ES is 5,650. Well, between 4:30 p.m. till 4:15 p.m. the next day, you have the day trader margin. So that's what that is. And margin basically is just putting up collateral. Say, to relate it to equities, say you want to buy 100 shares of something, but you don't have the money to buy it, you use an option and you just put up some money to be able to have that option. You can exercise it if you want, you can hold it and then sell it if it goes up. Basically that is similar to putting up margin on an ES. So you trade one contract of ES, you put up a little bit of margin, and then you can make profit from that. And the beauty of the ES, the next part, it's $12.50 per tick or $50 per point. There are 4 ticks per point, so $50. And intraday margin for the ES is not that much. So $50 per point, that's basically 10% to 8 to 10% of margin, something like that. So that's actually pretty good. And my next slide, why should you trade the ES? Well, for one, there's greater tax advantages than equities. In equities, you're going to be charged a short-term capital gains rate on anything under a year. So if you hold it for over a year, but that's not exactly trading. Trading, you want to do it every day. That's what day trading is. Well, in futures, it doesn't matter if you hold the contract for 1 second to 1 minute to 1 year, it's going to be taxed the exact same way. And that's 60% long-term gains to 40% short-term gains. So it's definitely more advantageous on the tax side. I won't get into it any more than that because I'm not a tax professional, but I just wanted to point that out. That is definitely an advantage. Also, simplicity. There's much less to manage. In equities, you have, I don't know, 3,000, 10,000, you have a obscene amount of stocks that you could trade. Well, with the ES, you only have one market to trade, and there are some tools to help you do that. You have market internals and stuff like that. So it's definitely a lot easier to trade than thousands of stocks out there. Also, time convenience. We already spoke about the hours that the market is open, from Sunday night at 6 p.m. until Friday evening around 4:15 p.m. It could be 5 p.m. on Friday night. I think it's 4:15 though, I believe. I could be confusing it with Forex. But anyway, you have the time convenience, and sometime between those hours you should be able to trade the ES, and as long as you're not holding it between 4:15 and 4:30 p.m., then you're going to have day trader margin. So those are the advantages of the ES. If you have any questions on this video, you can email me at support@abusinesswithtrading.com, or you can just leave messages under the video and I'll get back to you. And if there's enough questions, I will post another video. Thanks for your time. Have a great day and good luck in the markets.